I think I just need to talk for a minute. Retirement's supposed to be about having joy and fun, like I've said before, but sometimes family really does a number on helping you find a joy in your life. And my family is very loving, full of laughter, but we have a 16-year-old, and it can be very difficult sometimes. You might be able to relate to it. That stage right between being a teenager and a man, when both hormones and a changing way of life really gets to you and they start acting out. Sometimes I observe things as both as a priest and as a trained counselor and think, this is way beyond my ability to cope. It's like being a doctor. You don't treat your own family. It's not my circus, it's not my monkeys, but it is. It's family. And so I think we're just about at the point, because of the stress that this is causing, where there's going to be some consequences in terms of military boarding school, something like that. We have a family of, here, we have a family of three women. One's elderly, one's going to be definitely up in age, and then the mom, who just is having a difficult time. I don't know if you've ever encountered something like that, but it's a struggle. If you were ever in a situation like that, where it's not your direct family, but it is your extended family, and in my case, it's the godson, try to be supportive, encourage, offer counsel and wisdom, but realize at the end of the day that the problem with that young person is becoming a them problem and not a you problem. Find a way to manage it, deal with it, and hopefully come up with some good suggestions and ideas. I've heard in the military many, many times, as one of my lieutenant colonels once said to me, you can do whatever you want, you just got to be willing to pay the price. And I think for teens, that has to happen. We have a lot of love, and so this is not being done out of anything but love, but also a care for both the youngster and the family at large. I'm putting my own stuff out here, but I'm doing it because I think we're not the only ones in this sort of situation. Military schools for kids are tough. It's like boot camp for the military. They break you down, like any boot camp will. I was in the Army. Any boot camp will break you down and then start to put you back together again. And especially for teens who are having a difficult time, their actions have to have a loving consequence. They may not see it as loving at the time, but they have to have a consequence, because otherwise you're just feeding them. You're cooperating with their problems rather than resolving them. So I think that's what we're doing. Counseling certainly has been part of this young man's life. Maybe you or your daughter or son are struggling with these same issues. When a military school gets a hold of you, just like the Army or the Air Force or the Marines, break you down and then they rebuild you. That is never a pleasant process. And as a military chaplain, I had many young soldiers crying and saying, I want to go home, I can't take this anymore. And my challenge, and maybe yours, is, well, I hear you, But in order to get respect, you have to give respect. And I think that's very difficult when you have a youngster who's never had to do that before. It's the change between being a child who's taken care of as appropriate and somebody who is now starting to be a young adult. And they don't know where to go. They don't know how to resolve that. It's our job to help them, but not do the work for them. It's their job. We support, we love, we encourage. But at the end of the day, it's their life. And to continue enabling is good for no one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be good.